Hey guys, welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboy Sports Report. It is Sunday, the 23rd. I believe the last divisional game is playing right now, Buffalo and KC. So we saw the Niners knock off Green Bay in Lambeau yesterday. So that kind of lessens the sting of the loss a little bit. Not like we just choked against a bad team. The Niners are for real. I think they're going to be in SoFi in February. I think they'll dismantle the Rams as they've done twice. The first one was dismantled, the second was a close game, but it's a tough damn team. And they've got a lot of heart, and they've got just a great system going. So if San Fran would have went to Lambeau and just got ran over and waxed and just blown out, the loss would have felt worse. But that's not what happened. I thought San Francisco was the best draw of the three of LA, Arizona, or San Fran, but apparently that was the worst draw. They were right. LA or Arizona would have been easier. Arizona would have been a lot easier. Probably should have just sat our starters, rested everybody week 18, and then saw the Cardinals again. Hodgins wasn't playing in a wild card round, so we might have been playing this weekend had that have happened. But past that, Jerry Jones doing a lot of thinking right now. Mike McCarthy, his job is not safe, not by a long shot. Jerry Jones is teetering, taking his time, kind of seeing what happens, hoping that a good, better head coach comes along. The better head coach is on our team right now. He's on a plane in New York to talk about the Giants head coaching job. If anything, worst case scenario, fire Mike McCarthy or demote him to offensive consultant and promote Dan Quinn head coach. Because you saw in one season, he took a horrible defense and made it a very good defense. Give him 2 seasons, and he can make this defense a top 5 defense, if not the best in the NFL. Especially if we can get us a nice safety, a nice run stopping defensive tackle like a Snacks Harrison or a Ndamukong Suh or Vita Vea. Somebody like that can just swallow bodies and let the linebackers play freely. I'm looking at Jabril Cox next year, getting some playing time, looking good. You saw how fast he can be. Van Der Esch had a good last month of the season. They'll probably re-sign him to a 1-year prove-it deal. And our mock drafts have us drafting this linebacker. A very good linebacker at that. And if that's the case, and we do that, then we'll be set at linebacker. We'll have our linebackers. Micah Parsons will be able to rush a passer a lot more often, which that's what he does best. He should, 75% of the time be rushing a passer. And Randy Gregory better give us a hometown discount because we drafted him in 2015. He's given us hell ever since. But, he's got more games suspension than he has played. Yet we have stuck by him the whole time. So for him to ask for 18, 20 million a year would be stupid. I think, 8, 9, 10 million a year is fair. Fair for what the history shows. And his best season has been a 6-sack season. He's done that twice. This year, he did force 3 fumbles, though. In 2019, he forced 3 fumbles also, 6 sacks. And with our offensive line, how we kind of went to hell the last half of the season. The guys we have now, if we put them in the right spot, we can have a very good offensive line going into this next season without spending any money or any high draft picks. Okay, Lyle Collins had hip surgery in 2020, the COVID year. That's no joke for a big guy. And then was suspended for about half the season this year. So you go a year and a half without playing. Yeah, coming off hip surgery. He doesn't have that quickness anymore, that back step anymore. We originally got him in 2016 to play guard. He played guard for 2 years. Then our right tackle retired. That smaller white guy, I cannot remember his name. He was solid though, but once he retired, we were drafting guards, and they figured out put Lyle at right tackle. See how he does. He did good until he came in overweight to training camp and had to get hip surgery because he was trying to practice and he was too heavy. Now, take Lyle Collins. Connor Williams is gone. We're not re-signing him. Take Lyle Collins, insert him back at left guard. He is bigger, meaner, and nastier than Connor Williams every day of the week. He would be a much better left guard. And let Terrence Steele take his rightful place back at right tackle because he was on pace to be on the Pro Bowl team to join Zach Martin and Ty Smith. I mean, if you look at it, he didn't allow any sacks in his 6 starts. Week 2, he took on Joey Bosa one-on-one, didn't allow a sack. Week 3, Derek Barnett didn't allow a sack. Week 4, Brian Burns, who was an up-and-coming game-wrecking pass rusher for the Panthers, didn't allow any sacks. Week 4 against the Giants, Lorenzo Carter, Dexter Lawrence, whoever they wanted to throw at him, he held him down. Then the next game against the Patriots, Matthew Judon held him in check. And then against Minnesota, Daniel Hunter was on him most of the time, and then he would take on Everson Griffin here and there. He didn't allow a single sack during that stretch of vaunted pass rushers and run blocking. He was great. I mean, you see film against the Eagles, against the Panthers, when they were running the ball good. You would see him knock off his initial block and then go be 10, 15 yards down the field blocking somebody else. Only in his second year. So the offensive line has got some older players and some younger players. Ty Smith and Zach Martin are going to be 31 this year. Terrence Steele is a baby, but really good. And then for center, Tyler Beadash is horrible. Connor McGovern played a lot of center in college. Insert Connor McGovern at center. I think he would do a lot better job. A lot better job. So think of that. Ty Smith, Lyle Collins, Connor McGovern, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele. That offensive line would give Dak Prescott time in the pocket on a 4-man, 5-man rush to throw the football, and it would open holes in the running game. Elliott has a lot of miles left in him, as you saw in the first 5 weeks of the season. After 5 games, he had like 480 yards rushing. He can do it, but he needs a line to do it with. Okay, the reason why he was so good in 2016 and 17 and 2018 is because the offensive line opened holes. In 2019, he even had almost 1,400 yards rushing. But in 2020, the whole offensive line was hurt. Had a bunch of third stringers in there. You know, every time you get a handoff, there'd be somebody in the backfield. The back half of this year, the offensive line regressed. Every time him or Tony Pollard get the football, there would be somebody in the backfield. You cannot run the football if their offensive line's not moving people. But that is the way we can have a good offensive line going into this next season without spending any money. Maybe draft a lineman in the 3rd or 4th pick. But we'll see how this goes. Our defense really only needs a really good safety, somebody, Justin Simmons, Minka Fitzpatrick, type of person, and then that defensive tackle run stopper, that guy that eats up 2 or 3 blocks that can free up the linebackers. And on all the mock drafts has us, drafting this linebacker, like I said. And if we do that, him, Joe Cox, Van Der Esch, and if we re-sign Keanu O'Neal, Luke Gifford too probably be re-signed. We'll have plenty of linebackers. And Mike Parsons can rush a passer full time. Randy Gregory better be back because we want 3 pass rushers: Tank, Parsons, and Gregory. It's a dangerous combo. And let's see what O.C. Odighizuwa looks like year 2. Let's see what Chauncey Golston looks like year 2. Let's see what Kelvin Joseph looks like year 2. Maybe Kelvin Joseph is a real baller and sitting, watching, learning for most of the season, kind of a redshirt year. Maybe he'll come out in 2022 and almost be a shutdown. And maybe him and Diggs will be the best young pair of corners in the league. We'll see about that. And then if you listen to Mike McCarthy's end-of-season press conference, he said, he was defending himself. I know how to win games. I can win playoff games. I can do that, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. He said the team was nervous before the playoff game against the Niners. The team was nervous. Why would you be nervous if you're the 3 seed? Hosting the 6 seed at home. You've got the number 1 offense. You score more points than anybody in the league. Your defense is a turnover machine. And you got playmakers all around the defense. Why would you be nervous? Because your team is not prepared. You do not prepare your team correctly. That's why they led the league in penalties. If we don't commit 14 penalties in that game, we win that game. Because everybody was like, where was CeeDee Lamb? He was there. He had 3 big catches, all negated by penalties. He only had 1 catch that stood. He's got to go. Mike McCarthy has to go. Either give him his walk-in papers or demote him and promote Dan Quinn to head coach. And let Dan just run the defense, Bones run the special teams. He's doing a great job on that. And Kellen Moore can't stay or go. If a better offensive coordinator with a better plan comes around, let's take him. Because Amari Cooper, I know his stats aren't flashy for what he's getting, but it's the scheme that they're running. Jerry Jones has to understand that. I know he got COVID because he wasn't vaccinated and he missed 2 games. Maybe cost us a 1 seed. But, that's neither here nor there. He is too good of a receiver to let go. And I'm sure he won't fight you on restructuring his deal. I'm sure he won't. Just touching on a few things, and if we do lose Dan Quinn to a team, defensive coordinators out there like Mike Zimmer or Vic Fangio would be good. Mike Zimmer has been with the Cowboys from 94 to 06, very familiar with the team. I like DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans has taken this 49ers defense and made it a monster. Held us to 17 points in our own house, held Green Bay to 10 points, and this defense is not as good as the 2019 defense. The 2019 defense also had Brenton Buckner on the line and had Richard Sherman at corner. They don't have those guys this year. They don't have a secondary. Really, they have average to below average secondary players. They have a good front 7 and a good linebacking core, and they all just have high motors. And their scheme, DeMeco Ryans is scheming brilliantly. So, just pray to God we don't lose Quinn, but if we did, I wouldn't mind trying to interview DeMeco Ryans for the job, because this defense is primed to be a top 5, top 2 defense, and defense wins championships. We got 20 free agents. Gallup, Cedric Wilson, Dalton Schultz. Just restructure the contract with Cooper. I'm sure, he's a laid-back guy. He likes it here in Dallas. Sure, he wouldn't have a problem with it. So, that's basically it. Just touching on a few things. I'm hoping Jerry Jones gets smart and sees that Mike McCarthy was a fraud. He lied to get the job, and then whenever he had the press conference about getting the job and admitted that he lied to get the job, said that he had an analytics team and broke down every play from every game the season before, I'd have fired him on the spot right there for lying during the interview. I mean, the game has passed him up. His whole coaching tenure as head coach, he had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers that carried him. That's it. If he didn't have them two quarterbacks, he would have a losing record and he would never been close to a Super Bowl. Not even close. And I was saying that Sean Payton is not committed to go back to New Orleans this year. What Ian Rappaport is saying is that most likely he's going to retire, basically take a year off, recharge, and then because a lot of people said after this season he was really challenging and difficult to be around. I can imagine. And then in 2023, he could come out of retirement and sign with who he'd want to. Because if we went after him now, we'd have to trade for him. And that it would come with a first-round pick. It'd be too much. So let Dan Quinn be our head coach this season. Demote McCarthy. Promote Quinn. If Quinn takes us to the promised land and we win the big one, keep him around then. Or if he takes us deep, great. And then Sean Payton is around in 2023, then, we'll get to that when we get to that. My dogs are going crazy now. Somebody's at the door. But please subscribe, like, and share, all that kind of stuff. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel. I started it mid-season. I've been a Cowboy fan since Super Bowl 28. When we beat the Bills 30-13, I was 6 years old then, and ever since I've bled blue. Don't know why, just have. But that's that for Charles in Charge Cowboy Sports Report. I'll have my ball players in studio soon. Since Tampa lost, Jalen Darden will be back home this week. Since the Packers lost, Ty Summers, who goes to my church, he's a linebacker for Green Bay. He should be back this week. And, so that's that. Please subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, guys. I do appreciate it. I got to roll. Charles in Charge is out.